Imagine the fun you'll have at your wedding, one of life's most treasured moments. In each episode, hear from leading wedding professionals as they share with you insider tips and personal advice for a magical wedding. Welcome to the Indian Wedding Podcast. Here to help plan your wedding with style and grace are your hosts, Kunal and Jinal Sampat.
Hey guys, welcome to the Indian Wedding Podcast. In this episode, Janelle and I are excited to bring to you a power couple who has helped choreograph Indian weddings in Mumbai and beyond. The couple runs a premier studio named The Wooden Stage, where they have trained Bollywood celebs including Deepika Padukar, Sonam Kapoor, Sushmita Sen, and more. They've assisted and choreographed at renowned reality shows like Jhalak Dikhlaja, Dance India Dance, Dil Se Nache India Wale, and Dance Plus. In this interview, we discuss the world of dance and how it bonds families and friends at Indian weddings. Our conversation ranges from the power of storytelling to create choreographed dance performances for Indian weddings to the differences between a dancer, a choreographer, and a teacher, which very few people know about. Please join me in welcoming the all amazing Shruti Jasani and Paras Sharma to the Indian Wedding Podcast. To kick off our interview, I asked Paras and Shruti to share information about their dance institute in Mumbai, but then forgot to hit record. Listen to what they have to say and more.
Six, street jazz and hip hop, also floor gymnastics. Um, so the academy is one section of the wooden stage, and the other one is wherein we do sangeets, commercial shows, movie choreography also. Um,
So yeah, like these days, like right now, bride and groom, they're always looking for doing something new and different on their wedding. So we come into the picture there. So we try to do something different for them. We try to create acts that they can
relate to.
relate to, and there are a lot of dancing and a lot of singing and everything that we combine.
Hmm,
That's
I
Uh,
see.
but the latest favorite is we've been doing a lot of bridal entries. That's the ingoing and the ongoing thing.
mm,
We get a lot of calls saying how differently do you think the bride can enter?
mm.
And we've done some great choreographies around the bride with props and different styles of dance to make it look out of the box.
More like their style, right?
Yeah, more like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
Um,
so, so do the people come to your studio to train for the choreography, or do you usually end up where the bride and grooms are?
So yeah, it depends on how the situation with the bride and groom is. If they're very well pre-sorted and they have cooperative friends and cousins who are willing to travel, and they want to avail of a studio space to ensure that the dances are neatly learned um, and they're happy to travel, and the coordination is not too much for them, then they come by to the studio. But otherwise, if it's a bit of a mess wherein they don't know who's coming, who's doing what, and nonetheless, let's just have the choreographers at home and then we'll see how to go, and then we go ahead at the house also.
Also, if you're doing like a performance with dancers, like some bride and grooms, they want a lot of dancers also dancing with them. So that generally happens at our studio only. But if it's a Sangeet performance where, like, the
The
family is
family is
performing, then
involved,
we generally go to their places and do it. But if they've asked for a proper act, like a
like an
proper Broadway,
entertainment setup.
yeah, entertainment setup or a Broadway act or something like that, then we do it rehearse in the studio itself.
Hmm, interesting. So what is a Broadway act?
So yeah, basically, like recently, for example, we did like one musical for a bride and groom where we had a singer and we composed our own music, where we made our own lyrics, where we customized the whole act according to the family of the bride and groom. So we connected everything in a way that the bride and groom can be introduced very well. So there are a lot of people coming on the day of the wedding where they don't really know the bride and groom that well.
Mm.
So to just showcase them in a very short span, that is what our aim is. So yeah.
And also involving the rest of the family. Like we did an entire act on the Nana.
Yeah.
He was quite the favorite of the bride and groom. So there was an introductory act on Nana, wherein the entire dance and the song was based around him and his life and his likes and dislikes and his importance to and his and importance of him in the life of the bride and groom.
Oh,
Hmm.
that is so cool. That is quite precious.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was quite
Be
precious. That
able
was
to do
nice.
that. Yeah. Wow.
Janelle is touched because she's very close to her
Oh,
nana.
yes, that's true. I wish we did something like that.
We could have. Y'all just didn't tell us before. Otherwise, we could have.
We didn't know where you guys were hiding.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
We met.
tell us a little bit about how your both of yours. I know you guys probably have different childhoods. How did that influence you to what you are currently working on right now?
Do you want to
Shruti,
go
you want
ahead
to? Okay.
first?
Yeah, sure. So basically, my mom was very keen about dancing. So that's like, one thing that she pushed me into. But I was never like very professionally inclined towards it. It was always like an entertainment thing for me. My father also comes from a business background. So, we all thought that, maybe I'll take
Hmm.
that line and, go by those ways. But fortunately or unfortunately, I got into dancing at a very early age. Then I joined a couple of companies, and then soon I realized that this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life and not a desk job.
Hmm.
So, and how do I make a career out of it? So, I started thinking in that direction, and then post that, it happened very organically. Like, I kept getting into it, I kept doing well, and my family also got confidence with me doing this. So yeah, so it all happened very organically for me, at least. Shruti, you wanna? Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I never thought of taking up dance as a career. I was always inclined towards it. I studied a master's in English literature, and I was teaching a Trinity. Um, my, my setup was affiliated to Trinity College of London, so I was running a speech and drama effective communications class. But most of the syllabus that Trinity offers kept asking for one extra skill from the student, and I was inclined towards movement, although I never thought I'd take it up as a profession. So I would research and go in for my training and for dance classes, etc., to add in movement to their acting pieces. And from there on, my interest sort of grew, and I looked up courses that I could do, and I came across Terence Lewis's uh, diploma program. And
Okay.
Hmm.
then one step led to another, and here I am.
Oh wow. So where is Trinity College in? Did you say?
It's Trinity College of London offers uh, speech and drama and effective communication programs that are very famous around Bombay. There are a lot of teachers affiliated and a lot of students opting for it as an extracurricular. Also, what happens is when they take this up, they get a lot of extra credits when they're applying to colleges abroad. So it's quite the thing around here.
So, what are some of the obvious or non-obvious reasons people hire choreographers for their wedding events?
Well, obvious is entertainment, of course. Everybody wants something to be done during the events. Like, for example, I was talking to a close friend of mine who's getting married, and he said that he doesn't want any dance and they don't want to do a Sangeet and it's a waste of money. But slowly and steadily, as the families and the couple got on to talking, and then they said, but what are we going to do for those 3 hours while everyone's putting mehendi? How much can people talk? And how will the atmosphere build up? The fun and the party sort of atmosphere build up. And then they slowly started adding, maybe just the couple should dance, maybe just the parents should dance. In a 3-4 hour event or a function, as we call it, what do people do? There's something that has to keep them gripped. So during mehendi, when the women are applying mehendi, what do the men do? So if there is dance and music, um, it sort of keeps everybody engaged. Now also what happens is everybody's awkward to just stand up and dance. So if there is a set dance, a set choreography, and set groups that keep going up to perform, it builds the tempo, it builds the momentum for everybody else to get onto the dance floor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, so that's obvious. What are the other non-obvious?
I think it completely depends on people because I've done a lot of sangeets. We have choreographed a lot of sangeets. It depends, some families are so enthusiastic about everything, like about dancing especially. So they are fully included. But there are some people, obviously, in a marriage that are forced to do this. Like either the bride will force the groom or the groom will force the bride because they individually love dancing. So yeah, so like it completely depends on different family, but at the end of it, like when we finish with everything, they all are very glad that they did that, and they all are very happy about doing this because it just builds up the energy of the entire wedding. And when they look back in the videos where they can see the goof ups, where they can see like the chemistry between the bride and groom, it just makes them happy. So it's more of that memory also. So yeah.
Right.
yeah, also like they wanna like show their personalities also, right? To the people.
Absolutely,
Like
because some
they
people
want the brides wanna show the groom's family what she's all about. And the groom
absolutely.
wants to show the bride's family.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's always there, and one person is always like pushing the other one to be doing, say, a couple dance or something like that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you motivate somebody to dance? For people that have never or rarely danced in their lives.
Frankly speaking, once, like for Sangeet and all, once they've hired us, they're paying for it. So they better be dancing. Like, that is the very practical answer to it. But like, but yeah, absolutely. Like, we try and give them what song maybe they love the most. So, they get more encouraged to be mostly grooving, and like, like there maybe the one step that they love, we'll try to include that and make everyone do that, so we try to make it interesting like that.
Mm.
Yeah, so if a couple wants to hire a choreographer, for instance, for their wedding, how does the process look like when they are in the process of hiring one?
So basically the first thing that they see, the first thing is a meeting. Like, firstly they come to know about the company, and they get to know about us, then they get in touch with the company, and then we go over for a meeting, and then we explain them as to what exactly they're looking for. So if it's like something, it's like a Broadway musical they're looking for, it's just the bridal entry they're looking for, or it's something aerial they're looking for, something out of the box like a fire act they're looking for. So it all depends, it starts from there, what are they looking for, or we can give them ideas as to this is what y'all can do, and this will look the best. So we give them suggestions, ideas as to what they can do. And yeah, it starts like that, and then at the end of it they decide exactly what they want, and then we take it from there.
I see. Yeah, so is it's the bride and the groom. So should there be like separate choreographers for the bride's family and the groom family, or do you think it
Uh,
should be like together?
No, ideally, it should be together. The reason being, then the whole show should have a certain type of flow. So if there is one choreographer, a certain type of energy is what I meant. So like if like one choreographer is doing it, he knows that I'm going to start off with, say, a love song, going on to a little upbeat song, then going on to a higher pitch, then going on to the most like dhamal song. If there are two choreographers that come into the picture, things get a little complicated because that coordination, two different choreographers have two different ego, and like all those things like just make things more complicated. So it's the
Right.
best to like have one person who has complete vision over the entire over the entire show, and then it should be like that ideally, is what I feel.
Right. So because it's a smooth
It's
show.
smooth, it's way smooth. It's just for that, otherwise it's just like one person having knowing everyone, it's just better.
it looks like more partition than okay, the bride's family is coming, the groom's family is coming.
Absolutely, yeah. And that has happened in the past. Like, that has happened. It's just that I personally feel it should be the same person, unless and until the
Mm,
bride is staying in, say, Gujarat and the groom is in Bombay, or like, something like that. And
yeah,
then they still hire like someone from Gujarat because it's budget wise more sufficient for them. Then I understand. But if you're like from
Mm.
the same city, ideally it should be one choreographer.
yeah. We had different choreographers for our wedding.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Yeah.
I get.
so. I wanted to ask you about how does somebody like I know you have a biased opinion on this, but I was curious how somebody would identify between the good choreographer and somebody who's just wants to be a choreographer, but they're really not a choreographer. How
See,
does
first thing is the experience that the choreographer has. How many years of experience, and in what uh in what way he's experienced. Like, three things people have to really understand is there is a big difference between being a teacher, or being a choreographer, or being a dancer. People confuse that, if he's a good dancer, he will be a good teacher or a good choreographer. That doesn't happen. Like, it
Mm,
doesn't work like that. So, you got to understand that if you're looking for a choreographer, it should be a very good choreographer. Like, as in, he should have had the experience of at least, like, say, minimum of 6 years, because he has understood like the in and out of everything, and like, how to do things, how to maybe make the edits, and last minute, there are so many goof ups. He should be prepared for all those things, and that
Mm.
only comes with experience, nothing else. So, that one thing should definitely be there. And obviously his.
Usually, most of these Sangeet choreographers should have a work profile that you can, skim through, a show reel of a compilation of all the work they've done, and it's easy to gauge and judge from the information a choreographer shares.
hmm.
Yeah, those are really important points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had no idea there were three different
Yeah,
things. So I have
yeah.
learned
yeah,
something
it's
new.
completely different. Sorry if they are.
Quite I know you guys have worked quite a bit with celebrities, the like Sonam Kapoor, and also worked on TV shows like dance shows. Would you guys mind sharing how your experience was working with them?
Absolutely, I can share the side of reality shows. Shruti can share the side of celebrities.
Okay.
So reality shows right now are doing, like, very well in India and abroad, everywhere. Like, so like dancing show especially are doing way better than even singing reality shows and any other reality shows. So the work that we do there is very, very, very hectic. Like, we have to, like, the timings are so difficult. Like, you come early in the morning, you can leave late at night, you might have to sleep in the studio, because everything is very cut to cut. Every week we have
Mm,
to present at least one or two acts. So, and that becomes very difficult because last minute there are 10,000 changes. And there are so many people involved in that. There are like the production team, the art team, the costume team. There are so many things involved, and like, it's like a chaos out here. So, with that, it's too difficult to manage. But yeah, the end product, what matters, and that is what we work towards.
mm.
So yeah, so it's a very difficult job. The food is not on time, and a lot of such things happen. And with celebrities, it's a different type of hard work. Shruti, you want to talk about it?
I mean, there's no hard work really with the celebrities. It's a lot of fun, in fact, to see what sort of personalities they are when you work, closely with them. Um, my experience with Sonam Kapoor was great. She was very cooperative. We were working on this TV commercial for L'Oreal. Um, and I mean, even her body positions and positioning was quite on point. She's quite fit, and she's been working on um, her she's been working on yoga and dance train, and she's been training in dance too, so she was quite well versed with whatever we were teaching her. Then we worked with Shraddha on Rock On 2, there was a song that we did where she did aerial. She's
Hmm.
quite a perfectionist. She had to do a split in mid-air, and she knew that that was not something she could fake, or not something the camera could fake it for her. And so she came in for a good 2 3 weeks of training before the shoot happened.
Wow.
um, and yeah, so she was quite on point in terms of dedication. And she was working vigorously on the split that she wanted to achieve, and she did towards the end of it.
Wow.
um, Paris was training with Vicky Kaushal for a while. He was going to his house for personal training with training him in hip hop.
Yeah, so that was his, like, actually his first movie. Vicky Kaushal is the guy who was in Sanju's best friend. Like, he was
Oh,
he. So he's in the movie Sanju. He's doing very well right now. So that was his first movie, and that's where I trained him a lot in, like, hip hop dancing, because that is something he wanted to learn. And yeah, there were like other celebrities also that we have worked with. Yeah, Karan. Yeah.
Currently, we're training Kriti's son, and she comes by to the studio. She and her sister Nupur
mhm.
for aerial. They're both very hardworking. They're not doing this with an agenda to perform yet, but the two of them want to ensure that flexibility is in place as time goes, as you're growing older, and fitness is in place. And they come in for an hour and a half, and they work quite hard towards the elements that are being taught in class. Um, yeah, that's about it. Any other celebrity you can think of that we worked with?
No, I think this was really insightful because I feel a lot of times people that are just like normal citizens want to do all these crazy things, and the fact that you're saying that they have to go through even a couple of weeks of training,
Training.
and
Yeah.
it just it doesn't come automatically. I mean, they have to put in the
Yeah,
time
no
to
shortcut.
get there. Yeah,
There's no shortcut. True.
it's not
Yeah.
shortcut.
I
Yeah.
mean, some things that we see on the screen for like a minute or a second probably takes like weeks of hard work.
Yeah,
Um,
many a times, when we perform, we have a lot of questions like, "Oh, how long did you take to set this piece?" Or "For how long have you been rehearsing?" And to which we have to answer saying that we've been doing this all our lives. And
and
even with our students, when they have like a term, an aerial term for them is a year long, and at the end of every year we have a student showcase wherein we invite their parents to watch. And at the end of the show, we usually announce saying rehearsals for next show next year begin tomorrow itself.
I
uh,
see.
yeah, so it takes at least a year or more to figure life upside down on the silk, or life in the dance room.
Hmm. Wow. That was really insightful. Thank you guys for sharing that. One of the question that I had was, yeah, what would be people surprised to know about you or your company?
That it's a family business, so it's Paris and I are married, and my sister's managing it for us. And yeah, it's a family involved and a family setup. um I The employees or the teachers who assist us are very close to us. They're almost like our children. Paris and my children. And yeah, it's a very close, tight knit setup,
Hmm.
which is usually not the case in a dance school where everybody's very feisty and, if I may use the term bitchy with each other, because it's a dance setup. Everybody's wanting that one up from each other and competitive in a mean sense.
I see.
But it's not like that. It's quite comfortable and it's warm at the wooden stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's great.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
where can people find out about you and your work?
Well, just type thewoodenstage.com and you'll see our website, and everything's pretty much listed on that. We've got our Instagram page and the and our Facebook page that you can like and share and subscribe to, and we've got regular updates on that.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
Is there anything else we should have asked you that we didn't and you'd like to share?
No, you guys are pretty on point.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Cool.
This was
Thank you
amazing.
so much.
It's nice talking to you all.
Thank you for listening to the Indian Wedding Podcast. For more exclusive time and money-saving tips, head over to somepotjewelers.com/podcast.